Kiwis love being outdoors, so why not transform your outdoor living space with a sun view? With our quality range of stylish pergolas, outdoor blinds and awnings, having a sun view is like adding a new room to your home, but for a fraction of the price. Enjoy the outdoors all year round with a range of products to suit your needs. Book a free consultation now with Sunview and see the difference.
Last week there was quite the brouhaha, quite the debate all across the country as a result of an open letter written by Sir Ian Taylor to former Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern, who has recently been visiting the country. We understand, sadly, because she is a very, very ill close relative. This piece by Ian Taylor, well, I think it ended up by accusing her of being a narcissist and not really delivering on what was the great promises of her global popularity and her apparent new approach to politics and to policy. It was published in Stuff magazine, who have since published many, many responses, positive and negative, to what Sir Ian wrote. And I thought the best thing I could do to kind of move the discussion, and it certainly sparked a discussion, move that discussion forward, was talk to Ian himself. He always is prepared to talk, which is one of the great things about him. He joins us on video but from Paris. Of Paris or France? France in general, Ian.
France in general, Paris at the moment, yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you for taking the time, firstly. I wanted to get some context. How did the letter come about? Were you asked to write it, or did you offer it up to Stuff?
No, I just wrote it. I think as we always do, we start with a bit of a difference. I did not call her a narcissist. It may have been the interpretation some people have given the article, but, you know,
that closing stanza about a waka for one and everything. I'm sorry, that was my interpretation.
But yeah, well, it wasn't that. It was more along the lines that we were a he waka kanoa, 5 of us, 500 on board. You know, I mean, a team of 5 million. And this isn't just the first time. I started during COVID talking about the people that had been thrown overboard off the waka, the people overseas who we fought so hard to bring home, you know, and this isn't something that has just come out of the blue. I'm not a fan for all of the kind of homophobic, slurring kind of, you know, attacks that are thrown at Jacinda. I thought that this was something I felt really deeply, that I really struggled to hear a message about being kind and, you know, being kind to each other when I had such huge records of people I worked with, tried to get home, who really suffered during COVID. And at the core of all of that, we had done trials and tests that could have solved all of that. And that's all it comes to. And I understand maybe there was all the pressure and she left. So I've been quiet this whole time and thought, well, you know, that's what it was. But to see the story being told as it is, the story of kindness, to see her being lauded all over the country for being kind.
The world.
Of the world, I mean, yes. Actually, it's really interesting. I was at a cafe the other day, and there's a group of Americans with us, and just out of the blue, they started talking about Jacinda and, you know, what a wonderful world leader she was. And I said, well, I have a slightly different perspective, but the conversation really only lasted about 5 minutes, and they didn't want to talk about it anymore.
Yeah,
and I didn't write this. First of all, in my heart of hearts, nobody asked me to write it, but I could not have not written it. It was something I had to do. I'm fortunate that there's a platform that I can use. And when I wrote it, it was nothing about me. It was really all about, I just wondered how those people who...
And I have to say, Ian, you weren't alone in those feelings, because what's happened since you published it, it's been published, is it has sparked the memories of the huge loss that many people felt. I think the thing that really gets me is the number of testimonials from individuals who could not be with dying relatives during lockdown, could not gather as families to farewell dead family members during lockdown. And those are the ones that have tugged at my heartstring. The worst thing that happened to me, I couldn't be with my dog when my dog was put down, my 17-year-old dog. And I'd been sitting there like 20 seconds earlier, and the guy said, the regulations say you've got to leave when I stick the needle in him. But God, that's tiny. And the stories that really got me were people saying, I had to listen to my dad die on the phone, or my mum died alone,
Sean, so, I was a huge supporter right from the start of, and after the first lockdown, that's when I started to work with a group of people saying, this is going to get worse. We're sitting on our laurels. We've got to make sure we don't sit on our laurels. And we spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to run a trial of our own, because I thought, the message of being kind and a team of 5 million, it would be a no-brainer when I turned up and said, look, we've gone out, we've tested away, we can bring everybody home who needs to come home. Yeah. There is a way to do it. And today, I still sit there flabbergasted that we weren't allowed to do it. And all I hear, you're hearing those testimonials now. When I was writing those columns way back, first one, I think September 2020 or 2021, the mails and phone calls and crying that I got was what drove me every day. And I heard all of that again as I walked into a bookshop and saw the cover of the book.
Right. So that's what triggered the letter, really, was that. And I had an argument online with Claire Curran, who accused you of, she's still living rent-free in Ian Taylor's head. He's still having to go at Jacinda. And I think X'd back, of course, bad karma to even engage with people when they have a crack. And I said, it's not like Jacinda, it's not like Jacinda's been drawing any attention to herself by launching a couple of movies and a book and going on a worldwide publicity tour, is it? And she accused you of being a misogynist and me of being a misogynist, and social media quite quickly passed judgment on that.
That is really interesting. I did get this has nothing to do with Jacinda being a woman. Everybody has this. I guess if there's one thing that I really react to is any accusation that I'm misogynist. I have always, I was brought up with the power of my aunties. I have always looked at my aunties. My hero is Dame Finna Cooper. The other hero is Helen Clark. My management team have always been women. And it is just an easy cop-out for people to go, he's picking on her because she's a woman. Nobody comes back at me when I pick on David Seymour or Christopher Luxon. If you look at the record of what I write, they're all apolitical. This one, there were numbers of stories, but this one, if I pick one example, was a father who called me in tears because he'd seen me writing. His son, I mentioned it in the article, his son was 7 months old and he still hadn't seen him. I found out later that he was 2 before he saw him.
Wow.
Because we blocked the borders without getting his pregnant wife in, who was meant to come, and we had a way to get her in. We had a way to bring all of those people in, and we just weren't listened to.
Yeah. A lot of people weren't in. Des Gorman, unfortunately, passed last week. I don't know if you knew Des. He had been part of the consultation group, the government. He spoke a lot of sense, and he battled brain cancer, and so his funeral's Wednesday, I think. And it struck me, there's another person who was kind of on board with let's have a good response. We're a great little country, we can figure things out. And he too was kind of, and I don't know if you suffered the same as he, a certain ostracism, a certain cancellation because you weren't, Team Labour or Team Ardern.
Well, I was totally Team Labour. I was totally Team Ardern.
Kiwis love being outdoors, so why not transform your outdoor living space with a sun view? With our quality range of stylish pergolas, outdoor blinds and awnings, having a sun view is like adding a new room to your home, but for a fraction of the price. Enjoy the outdoors all year round with a range of products to suit your needs. Book a free consultation now with Sunview and see the difference.